officially open the Historic Commission meeting. Today is December 18th, time is 5:30. Start with a roll call vote. Al Nardi is absent tonight. I obviously here. Commissioner Kroll. Present. Thank you. Commissioner Doherty. Present. Commissioner Walsh. Yes. Commissioner Nestor. Present. And Commissioner Coffey. Present. I have to say this is the fullest board seat that I can remember in a very long time, so this is very exciting. Almost got a full vote. Almost got a full vote. Okay, next would be acceptance of the minutes. If everyone had a chance to review the minutes.
Make the motion to accept the Thursday, 7/4, 2025 minutes of the Springfield School.
Second. If you will see.
Any comments or discussion on the minutes? Okay, all those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you for. Okay, next item is the letter of support, 113 State, 1139 through 1155 State, 1163 Main Street, 11 through 21 Stockford Street. And I think we have the presenter online, is that right?
Yep, Carol, you are up. I'm putting up your past presentations now.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. We did a presentation to this board about a month ago now, just as a status update as to how we're doing on the full project renovation on Main Street and Stockbridge and State. A couple of updates. We have passed part 2 at the state level with SHPO. We are in the National Park Service now for their review of the part 2. We expect to see that sometime in April. So it actually came out a little earlier and went to national parks. So we're really pleased with that. This is the shot of the Colonial Building. All of them are of historic significance. They're in the expanded historic district that's also with the state. We are getting ready to apply to the Massachusetts Historic Commission for historic tax credits. This is going to be the standard process for the next 6 months or so as we assemble our financial stack and pull down the historic tax credits available to us. We've been dealing with the state for a number of weeks now on that. We are looking to get a letter of support from you folks to help us help MHC understand the need and the desire and the excitement about having these buildings get underway next year for redevelopment.
Great. Carol, we have some new board members.
Wonderful.
1 or 2 board members that may not have been here the last time. Can you maybe hit the highlights for them? We do have the packet, but
sure, happy to. Yeah, happy to. We are in pretty good shape right now. We are finishing the construction documents for the Colonial Building that you're looking at. The building, the short building in the photo to the left of the Colonial Building is considered 1163. Thank you, Andrew. 1163. It's actually sort of my favorite little passion project. It is a beautiful 2-story building that will have residential on top and some beautiful retail on the bottom floor. There's some wonderful articulation of the brick in that building that we're going to be enhancing with lighting and canopies and things like that. Directly to the left of that building is what we call the Clock Tower building. That is at the corner of State and Main. That's it. That's a great shot, actually. We have recently completed the restoration of the clock itself. It has a if you see it at night, it looks very original. The script is the duplicate of the script that was originally used. The hands are brass. But there is a very high-tech glass that's there now. So we'll get another 50 to 100 years out of that clock with some of the new technologies we've been able to use on it. That's the clock tower building. That building is also historic. It's being reviewed now in the expanded historic district. So it will become part of that district as well. It'll look similar to this when we're all done. Except that first retail floor, we are going to be bringing it back to what it looked like originally. Richer, better color, better lighting. This is a wood facade that got added, we think, 1968 or something like that. So the arch on that to the left is part of the very original building from the 1900s, and we are going to enhance that with some specialty lighting. We've had restoration masons, just actually for everybody's information. Last week, you may have seen booms and lifts around all of these buildings. Last week, we had historic masonry teams in the field looking at it, figuring out what we could do. It's had a lot of deferred maintenance. So we're trying to address that as well with better waterproofing, et cetera, to preserve it for the next couple hundred years. So all of the first level of both this building, 1163 and Colonial, will all be retail, food and beverage, mixed use, local vendors, things like that. So we'll be presenting that retail front to you sometime next month. It's finishing up design now. We're expecting to submit for permit on the construction aspect of the drawings around the end of January with a construction start next year. So that's kind of where we are. Additionally, I don't know if, Andrew, if you want to proceed, Stockbridge Street, where the music school is, that actually, you can go back to that 1163 shot. That street right there, again, there's that gorgeous building. We are actually putting glass back in where they have filled it with masonry over the years. So we are this, wait till you see the renderings on this coming forward in January. They are spectacular. That's Stockbridge Street. That's the music school in the back. We are sensitive to that being a remaining use. We are working with the city and the Springfield redevelopment on really making this a pedestrian-friendly street. It'll have catenary lights, pavers, trees, you know, the kind of thing you would expect to see in sort of an old main street, so that as you're walking down Main, you make that turn onto Stockbridge, and it feels very pedestrianized. The entries to the two residential projects will occur off of Stockbridge Street. So we want to make that a kind of a quiet, called a quiet neighborhood street. So I hope that helps bring you up to speed a little bit, catch up. It's a lot of info. The package is pretty tight, so it should give you a pretty good idea of where we're planning to take the project.
Will there be restoration with the 1930 Buick that's out front as well?
Yeah, this is, we're loving finding these old photographs. We have recently found some original photographs of Colonial that I hadn't seen before. And so we're able to bring back some of this, some of the brick, but the cars, I don't know.
Great. Okay, any questions on the board about the project itself?
Okay. So, I just, do we have to vote?
It doesn't hurt.
I'd make a motion that we issue the letter of support for the 113th State, 139, 155 Main Street, 63 Main Street, in the Stockbridge.
Second.
Great. Any other discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks again for your time. See you soon.
Forward to seeing you soon.
Happy holidays.
Take care. Okay, you want to, public hearings continued, so 102 Thompson Street. With the porch renovation. Welcome back.
زيادة 10
You're good. Okay, so. Just quick recap, so last couple meetings, we've been kind of coming back and forth and having a discussion with the handrail. Right, the hand railing and having it try and emulate what was there. Right? The hand railing and the design with the spindles and the.
Yesterday me go on the why everything. This I need to know what meant.
Okay,
So I think, from what I understood when I was
Yeah.
talking to him earlier,
Yeah.
he was saying that he went to Home Depot
Yeah.
and purchased the wood. And he told you took photographs. Can you show the commission what you purchased? Do you have the photographs?
No,
No? Okay.
next time I show you. No.
yeah, I mean, the important part is what's it gonna look like?
Yeah.
Right, that's what we talked about. Last time is making it, look like it looked before.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah,
So we just wanna see it, just to.
so I received, I received an email from his friend. He was asking if we could please reschedule the meeting. So I think we would just need an extension and then to continue it to the January 15th meeting. So
That works procedurally, we're not.
I mean, I think given the language barrier and the receptiveness of the application, or applicant, I think that would be fair.
I just wanna make sure procedurally it doesn't time out or not. There's no issue there, so long as he's making the request, we're fine, right? I'm just asking the question, I just wanna make sure we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wanna continue, so you can have your friend here and. Right,
Yes.
okay,
I call Khalid.
well, I think the suggestion is to wait till January so he can be here with you.
Oh,
January 15th. You would come back January 15th.
no, for Khalid.
Well, I'm not to the phone now, so you can, so we
Yes,
can.
yes.
Go ahead, call, do you wanna call? Go ahead, call.
Khalid.
And what's the?
Khalid.
We can also try the. Yeah.
خالد جيت عليهم اني وقعدت هون شو اسمه عند اللجنه بس انه قالوا لي انه اذا بتقدر تدق على خالد احكي معه قلت لهم اوكي تمام بس احكي معه
Can we talk to him?
خالد
Okay. Yeah, I can tell.
Hi,
Can you hear us?
can you hear us?
خالد
Colin,
Hello?
hi, can you hear us?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, this is Judy from the Historical Commission. How are you?
Good, no,
Well, thank you. You sent an email to Andrew that you wanted to, extend the meeting to January 15th.
January 15th, yes, please.
Can you tell him that?
Yes, sir. زياد هذا حكي هذول يقولون انت انه خالد انت راسلنا على مود تمدد المقابله ليوم 15/1. اوكي قلت لها اي تمام، فقالت خلي انا ارتب لك اول شيء، يلا بعدين تقول انت تقول.
خلاص تمام هيك.
اي كلنا يقول لنا نعم بالانجليزي او شيء.
Okay, and at the meeting, can you tell him to bring pictures of the wood he bought from Home Depot?
Yes, sure. So
Okay,
is it during the meeting, the next meeting?
are you gonna be able to be at the meeting?
Oh, so I'm gonna tell them that.
Okay.
Okay,
This is Walter. What's important? The materials are important, but what it's gonna look like is just as important. And that's what we've been kind of talking about through the last meetings. I think the intent was to try and make it look like it did before. So it's good. It sounds like he's confident that the materials he bought, he can make the banister with the handrail in square pieces. But we need to know what it's gonna look like.
So
Just
a drawing or?
Drawing or picture, or even just hand drawing to show what it's gonna look like. Because the materials are great, but we still need to know what its intent is. What it's gonna look like when it's done.
So it does need to bring you a picture of the.
Yes.
Or he can draw a picture of what the handrails are gonna look like, or he can use the previous picture that we had shown.
Right.
That Andrew can share and say, here are the materials, I'm gonna make it look just like that. That's right, then we have understanding of what he's intending on building. Does that make sense? Can you tell him? Can you tell him that,
Yes.
please?
خالد
زياد يقول احنا راح نحتاج شلون صوره من المواد اللي انت راح تشتريها من هون في وقت وتجيبها لنا للاجتماع ساعه.
خلاص أنا اشتريت خالد الخشبة اليوم جيت لهون قبل الجلسة هاي، فرجيتهم 3 عروضات وقبلوا بواحدة منهن، وأنا اشتريت الكمية ما في مشكلة.
خلاص انت ما جاي هسه معك صح؟
لا فرجيتهم إياها ثاني مرة وقبلوها، قالوا لي في ممكن هاي بس هاي غالية، قلت لهم أوكي ما في مشكلة، وأنا اشتريت هاي القطعة، اشتريت كمية يعني.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you. So yeah, he's saying he already bought the parts, I mean the materials, and he could show it to you.
Right.
Yes, but we need the picture of what he's going to end up with after he uses it. After he builds the porch, we need it before he starts building.
Okay, like you're saying you need the picture of what he like now trying to do.
Yes,
A mechanical drawing.
He can draw a picture, or if his intent is just to make it just like the railing was previously, like from the 1939 photo that we had kind of referenced. If he's gonna say, this is exactly what I'm gonna build, here are the materials. But we need to know once he has the materials and he goes to build it, what is it gonna look like? We need to know what it's gonna look like.
okay. So he needs to come on the 15th with materials, sample or picture, and the drawing of what it will look like, or the picture of what it will look like when you are done.
أكثر جاب.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
when it's complete.
Before.
Yeah.
Finish. I will picture.
No, not after. You do it before.
Before.
Well,
Before,
you can draw it,
but he's talking about taking a picture
right?
after.
Yeah, no, we don't want you to do the work and then take a picture. We want you to tell us or show us what it's gonna look like when you're done. So if, like, we had talked last time about making it look like the picture, can you put that picture up, please, Andrew, for 102?
So
Because if that's what it is, if you're gonna replicate that handrail and you've now bought those materials to make that, okay, we can see what that's gonna be. If it's not gonna look like that, and you're gonna make it something different, we need to know what that's gonna look like. So you could draw it,
Yeah.
right? Go ahead, Cleve. Can you tell him what and we have up on the screen is the old banister, so we just need to know what it's gonna look like, so he needs to kind of tell us or show us what that's gonna be.
Of course, okay. زياد يقول هسه الحين هسه هذا المحضر حاليا الشاشة اللي انت قاعد تشوفه، فاحنا نريد نشوف يعني اذا تريد تغير او اذا تريد شلون يعني تشتري الغراض وتحط الغراض هي بدال الخشبات، بدي تشوف شلون راح تكون. فلهذا السبب فنريد شلون صورة او اي شيء يعني انه نريد نشوفها شلون راح تكون. بس فانت احسن شيء خلاص خليه قول له مع الاجتماع الثاني انا اجي وانا ادخل شلون اسوي.
خلاص تمام. قولوا خالد.
Okay. So yeah, what he's saying is, yeah, he's gonna do that. He's gonna print like a picture of what it's gonna look like.
Okay.
And then he's gonna do all the gym back 50.
Okay. And can you be available for that, or should we try to have someone that can help him with the translation?
For sure. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, it's okay, glad you, thank you for helping.
Yes.
So, okay, so to make a request for the 15th. See, you need to.
تمام خالد.
Okay.
I have a question. I have something. Holly, Andrew is gonna send you a picture of the house with how we need it to look.
Okay.
Okay?
That sounds good. Yeah, that's gonna help a lot.
So that way you can, explain it better, okay, hon?
Yes.
I mean, I didn't mean hon, but
I did and I did.
Okay, I did and I didn't. If I so see. Thank you.
You look. Thank you very much.
خالد.
So I guess, motion January 15th is what you're looking for?
Yes. We're gonna for a motion to move the date.
خلاص ليه؟
Yes.
I'll make a motion to continue this, the matter for 102 Thompson Street for the January 15th meeting.
Thank you. Second.
ماشي تمام.
Okay, all those in favor?
تمام.
Aye. Thank you, good night.
Please second it. Please second it.
Any, copy? Okay, thanks everyone. Great, next item's 47 Westminster Street, welcome back. Name and your home address, each of you guys for the record, please. Name and home address.
I'm Rolando Mionu and 47 Richmond.
Perfect. And
My name is Olivia Lopez.
perfect, thank you, we just need that for the record.
So Rolando, can you call,
Your friends?
yes,
That's the change.
yes,
Yes.
yeah, I have those ones. I think I know in the back, so. What's in the back?
These are the updated plans from last time.
Yeah.
The original was back in the packet.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh. One of the contracts.
Hmm?
See the code.
Oh, yes, please. Aló. Sí, ya estamos aquí en la reunión. Hable con ellos entonces.
Good, how are you? Good, how are you? Can you give us your name and address just for the record, please?
Zero Emmett, 80 Cornell Street.
Great, thank you. And you were on last time with him. You're the contractor for this, is that right?
Right.
Thank you. Okay, so we have the updated plans. This is for the rear staircase.
Yep.
My first review of these new pictures, it seems to fit what I expected would be acceptable to me by minimizing the visibility of the back. That's what I asked for, that's what the plan looks like, so I would be okay with this plan moving forward.
And can you confirm on because I think we talked a little bit last time too about the hand, like the rail tops and the spindles, are those gonna look like what's there now, or is there gonna be a change?
It's gonna look exactly how it is now. They're gonna have to demo the stairway.
Yeah.
Where it's built, and they would have to move it to the new location. But the look of it is gonna be the same one.
But now where it's positioned, it's gonna be minimally visible from the street.
Can you put a street view up there for us?
Yeah, this is 47 Westminster.
Evil with the scholars.
Sorry. You need a paper page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be night and day.
Yeah, because of yeah, stick out.
Yeah.
I will show you. This is the most extreme angle you can see.
Yeah.
And you'll still be able to see it there, but minimum.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions from board members on it?
I think I'm pushing.
You gotta go to public comment.
No.
Okay, is there anyone that would like to speak for or against the proposal? For the staircase in the back, anyone like to speak for or against? Okay, hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board.
And we do have one written public comment. Yeah, you in the back there.
I just want to follow up. Yeah, we got public comment, one from Jim.
That was in the March.
I honestly.
Right. I think we read this in the last time.
Right.
Very
So, I
good.
think it's already in the minutes.
Yeah.
So for anybody that wasn't here that didn't see it, there's public comment from Jim Boone, so if you haven't seen it, you want to have the meeting as a board member, you can see those in the. Okay, is there anyone who would like to make a motion on the plan here on the staircase, 47 left and
I would make a motion to accept the application 47. Westminster Street. With the revised plans.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion on the application? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote, Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Zorzi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Nespor,
Yes.
Commissioner Coffey. Yes. And I yes as well. All right, you guys are all set, as we tell everybody, the plan we approved is the plan you provided. So if you get in the middle of a project, you find you can't do it, it has to change, you gotta come back and tell us we're gonna do something different. Okay. Okay, good luck with your project, thank you. E. Cornell, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
Thank you.
Ajá, ¿está viendo?
Hey guys, you're all set.
Entonces hablamos de un
Good
llamo.
luck.
Thank you.
Estaba muy grande. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 79 Thompson Street, installation of solar panels on the back garage.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
I don't think we have 79 is not here,
No,
right?
I don't.
This is the one that's got a timeout?
Yes. What were we waiting? So they, the issue with this one was they didn't have an exact location for the conduits and equipment. And, they were gonna put it on the one side, but we didn't know where on the side. So,
I do hear someone's another.
and I mean, he's been relatively responsive when I called him. I tried 3 or 4 times today and couldn't get a hold of him. So I don't know. Risk it and I can try to get him to extend the application and get in touch with them before it times out.
If it times out now and he hasn't responded, then we have to do what we usually do. Slow down with zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can reapply, right? There's no harm in.
Yeah.
Him reapplying and having
Yep, and
the other
since,
piece answer, right?
yep, and since we don't have New Year's Day meetings, I can.
Wait, we're not.
So he can, he won't miss a meeting.
15th.
Yeah.
You go up to the 15th.
Yeah, so. I just have to rewarn it, so.
Oh, do you have no idea?
So do we wanna put him on the end of the agenda, we give him a chance that if he shows up at the end?
Yep.
We'll still have to vote on it tonight, so make sure I don't. Okay, so we'll go to new meetings, 280 Washington Boulevard. Fence,
Hi, how you doing?
good, how are you?
Good. Mark Prince, 280 Washington Boulevard. Hi. You asked if do I start?
You start with your application.
Okay,
You're ready to go.
I've been living there for over 30 years. And over the years, I've struggled with those hemlocks to keep them under control, costing me thousands to trim them. And much to the chagrin of my neighbors, having to spray them occasionally for that woolly bug that kills them. And they've gotten to the point where they are simply out of control. They're dropping the bottom branches. They're like 25, 30 feet high. And so they're not providing me with the security or the privacy in my backyard. Which is kind of important to me, not to mention the animals that crawl into my backyard, keeping the deer out, the cats and the dogs, so. They've stopped being able to do that for the most part. So I'd like to take them down. As much as I wouldn't mind putting up new bushes, I won't be there long enough to see them grow. I've been there 30 years, I'm 70 years old. I'm not gonna have 10 years to time to enjoy this, but as it is, I can really keep the house going on my own with so much work. My wife passed away for the pandemic. So I'm just trying to do something that I can enjoy my backyard, enjoy my privacy. I am aware that it may not be the most aesthetically spectacular thing, but then I went around putting up the fence, went around to the neighborhood and saw really kind of obnoxious versions of what I'm trying to do with the one on the corner of Magnolia with the pump house and then swinging around Florentine down Spruce.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
with that, it's like 6 people all going 75, one person gets pulled over, doesn't mean the other 4 people weren't speeding, it just. So, sometimes you'll see stuff, maybe they didn't come here, maybe it was done
But I'm just saying,
prior.
I've looked, and I'm not saying that because of that, because of this, they could have been grandfathered. I'm not indicating that, but my point is. is that it is not obtrusive. It's not intrusive in an obvious way from the street view. You're either driving by and looking where you're going, and the only person that really is in their face would be the neighbor across the street who is present. And present is very
So can we see on this view here, because I'm not really sure where we're talking.
right there, those bushes.
The issue is from what the drawings submitted, the issue from the drawings submitted is that there it draws the fence past the foundation.
Exactly.
And that's where we, in a historic district, you can't on either side, either street side, come up past the foundation.
Right, but you had indicated in your things that in some occasions you do vary on that, and I noticed the city changed their zoning rules, because I went there first. And they changed the zoning that the people with two sides of their house can now bring it to the walkway. So I didn't know if the historic commission was being a little more lenient on that. The city certainly has changed that zoning law, and I went to them first before I came to you.
We have no guidelines of the original documents have changed relative to.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we just had one, matter of fact, a week or two, last meeting, we had one. With foundation.
And I'm not sure what the city, because it's different places, what the city guidelines for fences are there.
I already went to them. They passed, they said
Well, I mean, do they tell you anything about height?
6 feet. They're following the 6 feet as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I'd have an issue with it, as long as it follows the foundation thing.
Well, that takes away 12 feet on the backyard. But then, that's my bad. It's not that big to begin with. So I would like to bring the fence up there, or it just becomes, not that this is an inexpensive thing to do, because I gotta take the bushes out and dig out the things and put out the fence and see. Giving you the color, trying to keep it blending with the house, so it looks contiguous to what's going on there. So I did notice that the historic commission said in some cases we do. So in some cases I didn't know. If this would be one of those cases, and I take consideration relative to the other houses, how obstructive they are to the neighborhood, and this particular case is driven down. Piney Woods there. It's not really like, they're not really seeing that. It's like the only one that's looking at it is, basically her backyard is facing my backyard. So it's like a house, my fence, and across the street, their backyard and their garage. So it is like someone looks out at the window across the street out of the fence. Nobody's gonna be looking out at that fence, because I did take that into consideration.
This is right on Piney Road, right?
Yes. So I also thought about my neighbors and asked them, and they're not gonna look, I wouldn't wanna look out my front window at a fence, but they aren't, it's the garages and their fence. So I was hoping to follow what was going on with the trees. And I should see people be driving follow what was going on with the trees, but put a nice neat fence to give me as much backyard as I can have. Because that's not looking too great anymore. And it's awesome.
Andrew, can you kind of go forward and then maybe go left so we can kind of see the whole? Because it's gonna start in the back and wrap, is that right?
It's gonna start where
Right there,
it's gonna start there, right with this. Well, I've luckily just spent the hours this summer restoring that wrought iron. A little gate that's left of the old fence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it almost looks like there's some fencing there.
Yeah,
where did the old fence go?
I didn't have the old fence, so I just assuming it followed the same thing. The old. All that was left is that when I came, and I wanted to keep it because it's such a beautiful little fence.
Can you zoom in on that, Andrew, so we can see?
The front of it.
But there's no fence close to the
Yes, but-
side.
There it is, and
Yeah,
So it's running.
that looks like it just goes
So it
across, right?
runs
it
along.
just ends right there with that tree.
Yeah.
In fact, it is tied to that tree.
Oh.
Oh, see, I thought there was something on the
I don't
other
think,
side of it,
the
too.
tree's hanging out,
Yeah.
it's not, the things, but nothing's gonna,
Yeah.
someone had just decided that, of course, the tree is caved in around there. So I just said, well, I'd like to have some privacy there, and I won't be around long enough to appreciate trees to give me that privacy. But bringing it back, that's 12, 13 feet. It may not look it here,
Yeah,
but I will lose in my backyard here.
Well, the reason for it was not relative to being close to the sidewalk, it was to keep the streetscape uniform,
Right.
as opposed to.
Which right now, I would simply be placing a fence with which has been there
Oh, yeah,
for 75 years.
Also, trees, some growth.
And believe me, keeping it from growing, keeping it from growing into as you can see, half the sidewalk is gone, and I've been trying to chop that. It's quite costly, which is not the point.
How far off the sidewalk is your garage relative to the house?
Oh, by the way, if you go to the picture,
In the drawing. Yeah, I can see it here, just, it looks like it's probably twice as far.
30 feet.
I would say 2 car lengths. I mean, this makes things look longer than they are.
Okay.
I would say 2 car lengths about.
If this is an accurate drawing, it's part of the
Yes.
application package. It would appear that
I took that from the city maps, so it is in fact accurate.
yeah, but you filled in,
Well, just
Yeah.
bushes where they were overlapping.
right, so this is vegetation.
Yes, that's
Right.
the first.
So if you look at the interior line of that vegetation, it's very close to the foundation line of your house. As opposed to putting a fence all the way out at the sidewalk. And it looks like that's where that original fence was along the foundation line of the house.
Well, you don't know that. So you're saying that, my guess is they would have taken, if they put a fence, would have taken as much of their backyard as they possibly would. And that's an assumption that may not be true.
Oh, good.
If you were gonna put your fence, there was no reason why you cut off 12 feet of your backyard, you would have,
Well, if it's full of vegetation,
well, it wasn't them. It wasn't them, whoever put up the wrought iron fence would have followed the sidewalk and down and up the garage, they wouldn't have, they wouldn't have, like, say, oh, let's just lose. In fact, I know from my neighbor who told me that probably wasn't true, because I guess there used to be a old brick, outside barbecuing thing in that corner, so that would have been, and I have found it while I'm digging back there. So I know something was in the far corner, I don't know where the picture's gone. Where has that picture gone?
Well, technically, the state still owns the first
There used
5
to be-
feet of the tree belt.
There used to be a barbecue somewhere back here, right here, so they would have, just to express your point. There used to be
The tree belt.
a back over here between,
Yeah.
back furthest away from the house, so they would have included that. Barbecue.
What's the measure in the center of Pine?
I mean, I think more of the rule of thumb is it's to the sidewalk. And you don't really, it depends on. Your rods, the right of way, probably which it is, so I think that can change. My guess is probably 3 rods, so that'd be 25 feet. From the center of the road.
They don't have that published in.
In my,
Some towns do.
I mean, I generally.
They put the fence past that anyways.
No,
The city.
Look, yeah.
No,
It won't go past the walkway. You
No,
just want
no.
it to go right to the edge.
well, actually, to be honest with you, I would probably bring it in 2 feet anyway, to leave something there, I guess the city they've done a beautiful job in the front of my house. Replacing the walkways, but in case they wanna come back,
Yeah, they need some.
and that's a little crampy, you know what I mean, like, right over the walkway. So I would probably push it back about 2 feet, just to give it not that jammed in, like I've seen in other places in the neighborhood, just look like it's jammed in on it, that's the walkway. So I'd probably push it back 2 feet.
so, but with the current state of vegetation, your backyard ends at the vegetation. Right, so your usable, well, you were talking about. Usability of your backyard, and right now, the usability of your backyard stems to the vegetation, which is again. Very close to the foundation line of the house. And so it seems to me that if the fence was at the foundation line. As the guidelines for this historic district. recommend.
But that has happened over the years, so it's not. When I moved in 31 years ago, it was 8 feet high, about 6 or 8 feet high and this wide. And it's just become impossible
To maintain.
it's taken over the other.
Right. But if you,
So that's happened to me, I didn't. It's hard.
Yeah, I think what he's suggesting is right now you have a 3-foot fence, you have a 3-foot wide fence. That's what the trees are. They're taking
Right,
up,
right.
they're taking up that amount of space inside your yard already.
Maybe.
So if you, right, maybe more, so if you had a clean fence that's, an inch across. You're not really surrendering usable land because you're kind of already there with how that bush is.
Right, because I'm
Right,
trying to
you're just
gain
taking it, you're just taking it to.
I'm trying to gain
this
that in my
lot.
backyard, is what I'm trying to do, it's overgrowing trees. And plus it's growing into my house, it's growing into my, as you can see, it's growing into my house, it's growing into the garages.
I think I'm always trying to say though, is if you had a fence where it starts, you'd have the same usability you have now, you wouldn't have all that. Took all the trees out, you wouldn't have any of those issues. You'd have a fence that's compliant and you'd have the same usable. space
Well,
you
that
have.
would be true, I'd have about the same, but they're pretty dead, on the. You're assuming that they're full on the other side, they're not.
I'm just going, I think we're all just looking at the picture.
Yeah,
and what you're
they're
doing.
not as full on the other side, and like I said, they're dropping their branches, so that, okay.
But the guidelines are pretty clear that we are, the historic district that will be on boundary.
Okay, well, it did say that we do sometimes, just some things and.
Sometimes it's a visibility thing,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a.
And,
Structurally,
But I
but
could-
again, if there's a fence prior to the historic district. That's there,
Pre-existing.
pre-existing fence, you can put it with pre-existing fence, that's why I asked if there's a fence going somewhere that you can see.
No,
Here-
it's only-
Here's fence poles from when I,
It's
Yeah.
only that I know of.
Yeah.
It's only that.
We haven't, I apologize.
And they would have had a little, they would not have, obviously they would have followed that.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't know if there, that it was 4 feet, 6 feet there, but you checked, so it's 6 feet. And I have no problem with the fence on the foundation line, garage. They did that way. But I don't feel the compelling reason to put it out at the sides.
Okay, then, I would be able to replace the trees then, I'd be able to plant whatever I want there.
That's just, there's nothing to do about it.
Yeah, you,
Yeah.
problem with that at all.
All right, then we got an item about replacement question.
Okay, I had a feeling you were gonna go that way, but I was.
You got it look really nice, but you won't enjoy it.
Yeah, I thought that you did.
Right, you won't get to enjoy
It's
it.
a privacy and also gaining back my
And
backyard.
invent the yard.
And not
I see
affecting,
what
not
you're saying.
aesthetically not affecting
I see
as
what
it
you're
is in
saying.
other ways, just the way the position of it isn't affecting my neighbors, it
Right.
isn't like. Hitting the corner like in Spruceland and the other.
Sure, right here, it is, but the other part of this is the same way you opened, because once your fence goes to that. The next person on the plane is gonna go, oh, this guy had 2 us, then just put his fence there, you're gonna tell me no, but you told me yes. So we always do everything by case.
Mhm.
Based on what's there and what the limitation is and what the outcome's gonna be. So.
Okay.
I know.
I think you have to, and you have to feel that if there are at least several of us who really couldn't improve it unless it was in fact that foundation line. But we can only vote on what you vote, right? So are you willing to amend your application so that we?
I have to be perfectly honest. I would not do it to bring it back to the foundation line. I would simply replace the bushes and hope for the best and avoid hiding in the corner of that backyard.
So would you like us to go forward and vote as you have it today, or are you just gonna
There
put
was
your
a-
application back and not do it at all?
I would do a fence if I could gain the area. I'm gonna lose that area, now 12 feet of lawn to take care of on the other
Yes,
side.
so I just need to ask you, this is what's in front of us.
Yes,
which
and
is
you
a
should,
6-foot
then you
fence,
should
so-
vote what is on front of you, and as long as I am free, there's no.
Yep.
I do as far as planting there, I could plant whatever I would like there. Okay.
Yeah, if you change your mind, thought about changing your mind. We don't know what we.
I think people come back and say, okay,
Applications, a little bit different on.
just say, I'll move it to the, unless you want to do a pre-approval. If I should, well, I
We
mean,
could, we can do that.
I mean, you could certainly do that to say, this is not allowed, but this is what you would have done anyway, but you have to bring it back to the foundation line.
Yeah, all we can do is point to what's generally accepted with the guidelines, but it's application.
Right, but he can ask that this be amended to the foundation line, and it can be approved, and if he doesn't do it, he doesn't do it.
Right.
But he knows that if he decides to, it's already approved.
Right.
But he also already knows
Yeah.
that we won't approve it if it's out past, and in the end, we'll know that, and he can sign that off, you wouldn't have to come back in front of us if he decided to do it later.
Right, that's what I feel, it would be nice to be able to say that if I feel as though I want to put the fence up there, this is not a cheap thing to go forward and do to begin with.
Yeah.
Because it's, 80 feet of fence when you got it down the ground.
What if a fence that looks like the gate that's already there?
Well, that's, once again, then I'd have to do the fence and pay for that, and then put bushes in for my privacy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, not this is already, this it would be like, $7,000 and another $7,000 a plant,
Okay, so, I think we're good.
I appreciate that.
Do you want to amend this in fact?
If we could amend it here and say, not accepted as, but whatever must be at the foundation line.
In the public hearing, it has to be relative to the foundation.
Correct. Okay, so, we're not to that motion in, so I'll open it up to the, public hearing, if anyone would like to speak for or against the fence at 280 Washington Boulevard.
Jack Hunter, 292 Washington Boulevard. I'm the guy and the folks that live across the street. You're looking at the bushes. And I just wish you didn't make up your mind until you heard what the director Butter had to say.
Sure.
So I compel you to at least listen. We don't mind this one bit. Mark, and I've known Mark for 20 years, maybe more. Lost his wife. He dedicates his life to this house. It's a walking museum. He's meticulous about the historic preservation of this house. We would applaud him for wanting to put the fence up. And since you do have some leeway, I'd like you to consider that as a direct abutter.
Great, thank you.
Another thing.
It's my wife.
Name and address for the record, please.
Mark.
Name and address for the record.
Joyce Bellevue,
Thank you.
292 Washington Boulevard. So on the other side of Mark's, in his yard, bushes, are like this, so he does use that area. He has tables and little, monuments and things in there. So if he has to put that fence to his foundation line, he's gonna lose all that.
So you're for his, typically, just for the record, when we ask for or against, we want to know if you're for it or against it, and then something short as to why.
No, I'm for it.
Okay.
And also, there are plenty of fences in our neighborhood that are on the sidewalk.
Hey, I can answer a little bit of that, we support Mark, whatever he wants.
I didn't even ask them to come.
We like public input.
And so, and I know what direction you're going, and if Mark's fine with it, we're fine.
Great. Anyone else like to speak for or against? Harry?
Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road. I think, first of all, I want to say you have a beautiful home. I'm not against the proposal, but I would like you to consider that you're going to last longer than 10 years. And you could see those bushes grow. And I think bushes as opposed to fences are usually more aesthetically appealing.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, close the public comment, bring it back to the board. If someone want to make the motion on.
No, I do want to make a note for the record that our charge is with maintaining historical accuracy as well. It sometimes conflicts, like it has today. But my position still is fence line, so. But I would make a motion to accept the application at 280 Washington Boulevard to install a 6-foot. Fence along the foundation line and then to the garage. Listen. I was just trying to identify the type of fence. Wood fence, 6-foot wood stockade fence along the foundation line to the garage. I think that covers that way you can then decide. So that's my motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so this is for the stockade fence along the.
I thought along the guidelines of the historic district.
Right. Commissioner Walsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Network,
Yes.
Commissioner Coffey,
Yes.
Commissioner Paul address, Commissioner Kroll,
No.
and Commissioner Zorley.
Yes.
Okay, so the vote is approval of the fence along the.
Okay, thank you.
You won't have to do that.
If you do, if you just.
Well, I didn't
want
want
to, you can just go down. Okay, 40 Ingersoll, solar panels. Welcome, name and address for the record, please.
Chantel Protein, 461 Boston Turnpike in Shrewsbury.
That's
He Linden Ave, Westfield House.
We're here from Solar from Springfield.
Yes, somewhat about okay.
We are proposing the installation of a 27 panel grid mounted solar array at 10.935 kilowatts. On the status.
Well, about the pictures on the little side. Talk to us where the panels are gonna go, where the conduit's gonna be, where the shutoffs are gonna be. What can contain in the street. It's all around about minimal visibility.
So we have the solar on 4 different roofs. Only 6 of those panels are visible from the street. Those are the ones seen on roof A. We also have these plans amended to pull the equipment back from the front of the house to, well, when it's installed to that freight part on the side. And the conduit run is on the A, but it goes into. It goes directly into that.
The utility meter and main source panel in the front, are those already there?
So the utility meter is the main source panel is inside, but the utility meter is currently in the basement, because when you do a solar upgrade, you cannot have the meter indoors. We did already receive a permit to have it relocated. If the position of it is an issue, we are able to pull it back with the rest of the equipment that we pulled.
So you can put it back there with 3 and 5.
Yes.
Okay.
And just, so, okay, so, just for point of reference, Ingersoll's in the front,
Yes.
right?
So.
Shutoffs are in the back,
Yeah.
and you could put the meter in the back with the shutoffs.
We thought you might
Right.
request that, so we could do that.
And the panel, is well, this, there has to be a brother. Good.
Just was looking at where the panels are.
Yeah, that's the A one. So A,
Yeah. So is it here along that line? but panels,
The roof A would be, I brought some photos.
if nobody wants to see this house, yeah, it's hard.
But
But this is roof A.
Right. So it's back in there.
It's up there at the top.
To that time.
you'll be able to see,
Yeah,
You'll see.
you would be
That's
able
all
to.
you need.
you can't move them.
Anybody else you can stick those 6 panels,
Oh,
because
we-
it's such a pretty house.
We would most likely be able to move them to the roof across from roof D in the back. There looks like there's room, I'm sure that they could find a way to fit them there. And.
What side is that?
This is on the back.
Yeah.
Right,
So here's the street side. And,
where do you know where the south?
this is-
Let's say that on the front of the south.
South. Does this have to be west?
So we have the, this is facing north, this way.
Okay. So you're gonna get better solar there, anyway.
We would, yes.
You're
putting them like that. We would most likely be able to get our design for put them there instead in the back.
Oh, that would.
No,
Or I guess.
in the back.
So there's one in the back.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
oh, right there.
No.
So off of the front and then the back, so that it basically sketch that in right here and take these out, correct?
Clark.
Yes.
Shade.
I would say, I put him, if you guys an applicant, are you willing to put him in for application?
There's nothing, you have to consider roof.
So originally, when we applied, we did hear that there was a re-roof needed, and then we were.
Basically, didn't happen. It wasn't needed.
Yeah, that is exciting that it.
We're good.
We're very flexible with whatever you need to approve it, we'll speed it with some signals.
So just now that that's done. Any conduit, just think about visibility of. Now, all that's gonna be in the back, but all kinds, what's kind of gonna be in the roof, side,
It'll be in the attic, and then if there's any visible conduit, we always paint it to match the.
Or about inside of the house or like where we do it again.
On the roof, there will be virtually no.
It's gonna go in, it's gonna go in through the roof.
Exactly.
It's not,
All
it's gonna go outside, down the side of the building, it's gonna come through the cascade down into the mouth. Basement, the shut off, right? Okay. Great deal, anything else? Anything? Then we'll go to, open it up to public comment, but anyone like to speak for or against the solar project? At 40 years old. Or against? Sir.
Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road, and I'm for the project.
Thank you.
With the corrections of it.
Yes.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board. We do have public comment, let's go on.
Yeah, came in late, so I need to.
Okay, this is from Jen Rao, your commissioners, the right to provide comments on the application for solar submitted by my neighbors at 40 Ingersoll. First, I appreciate the request by my neighbors to their solar company that the panels not be visible from the street, which would both protect the historical of their neighborhood, as well as our beautiful classic revival home, which is a significant contributing home to our street. So contractor has been able to do this except for roof A, which is highly visible from the front top. My question is, can the solar company avoid placement on the roof A front area, utilizing the carriage house or the rear part in addition for additional panels back part of the street? I object to the placement of the man panel marked 1 on the plans and the utility meter marked 2 on the plans at the front corner of the house. This is not in conformity with our rules that these meters be hidden from the street view. This placement would be one of the most prominent places to put a meter for anyone driving down Ingersoll Road. Would devalue the look of the home. and will be directly visible from my home. I also object to the contractor's failure to design the location of conduit runs. Item 9 on the plans, we need to know exactly where the main conduit will be placed, that would potentially be seen from the street. I note that if the solar contractor tries to raise comparison with the house to the right, the solar plan was not approved by the commission. But was rather unfortunately passed by default due to procedural technicality condition that existed at that time. That home is non-conforming in this new bearing and subdivision. I note that the solar contractor can ensure the commission and my neighbors, the homeowners, that the contractor can provide this installation with minimal detriment to the look of this beautiful house. It's really been, you'll be proud of you guys all. We made all those changes and all the objectives that she has, sounds like they're like complicated process. So I would entertain a motion on the application at 40 Ingersoll with the changes. I think that's good.
I make a motion to accept the application with the change that the utility unit be moved to the back and the panels on roof A be moved to the back left side of roof D.
Second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, we'll take the vote. Commissioner Dorsey?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh? Yes. Commissioner Nestor? Yes. Commissioner Coffey?
Yes.
And myself is yes. Okay, congratulations. Thank you. And as we tell everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Kroll.
Dr. Cole.
Yes.
I had a yes down. It was telepathic is what it was. Telepathic, I apologize. So this has been approved as we've laid out. If something changes, panels can't move, conduit's gotta move, something's gotta move. I'm gonna go back and say, hey, I didn't approve this, but why can't I do this?
When we get the new plan, we can just something over.
Yeah. Great, thank you very much. Hey, have a good one. Happy project. Hey, 92 Marengo. Panels. Where am I? 92 Marengo, anyone for 92 Marengo?
I did not hear from the solar company. I did hear from the homeowner who was under the impression that they would be here.
Okay, we'll come back to it, because we have.
Is the company was gonna represent them?
Yeah.
But why don't we just forward this to the next meeting, if it's a solar company, we're waiting for, they're not even. It's not this, the homeowner. So I'd make a motion to continue this night to the part of.
Second.
So.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You. 30 Spruceland.
Yes.
Someone here for 30 Spruceland.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Lauren Pence. I have a phone from recently to represent them.
Okay, and your home address.
My home address?
That's what we need for the record.
Okay.
It's in our bylaws.
I live at 22 Mulberry Road in Worcester.
Great, thank you. All right.
All right, so this is also a solar project. We're going to install 32 panels, roof mounted solar array. System size 14.19 kilowatts AC, and roof mount only no battery. As you can see from this, all of the panels are perpendicular from each. Well, yeah, you can kind of, it's. Yeah, bring up that house, you can see.
Is it the red one?
The red one, yeah.
Yeah.
See, you'd be able to see it from.
So we'll be able to see it from the street.
Corner.
Oh, they're just waiting, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. The roof is simple.
Do they have a garage?
No. It's just the building.
Seems like a lot of panels, it seems like these arrays are, they're adding more panels.
Yeah.
There any reason that the panel numbers are, to just in general, on all this, you know, it's a very,
33.
it's a high, it's a panel around, they're saying.
Well, because that's how many can fit on maintaining fire codes.
So they wanted the highest economic production, is that?
The highest amount of panel coverage on the roof to produce the most energy without violating fire code. Yeah, the electricity bill that I have from the client, it's very, very high. But she would like to chop it down as much as possible.
Right, but we found a house, start with this, but we have bad ones.
So, is this your first time before?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The thing we always tell everybody, especially installers, minimal visibility.
They do have a one?
We're always looking for minimal visibility on. Items.
No, there's the porch.
That's not the garage, that's the picture.
That thing back there is, alright.
Have you been to the house? Have you been to the?
Oh, I haven't seen these photos, but porch and then behind it,
There's a.
well, I'll bring it back to the sales team.
Okay.
And I'll.
You see that Ranger
Yeah.
over this thing? And his question is not. Over the one that.
I can tell this will be very visible as you drive down. View of the solar panel, so a lot of those that are toward the front onto the garage. That would help reduce visual impact. Since it's a for the front half of the house that is visible.
I think we'd have to, if we did it on the garage, we'd have.
Yeah, that's what they.
Yeah.
So,
I'll bring it over to sales. So you know the best project list.
so the left side of the house in the front is where you're proposing to put the shops.
So the utility meter is already there. The shop will just go within 10 feet of the utility meter.
Where is it?
Is that it right there?
Yeah,
That's
the
already.
gray box.
Yeah, it's already there.
Mhm.
They just didn't put a meter on it.
June 20.
That's just a box.
Yeah, the meter's not even in it.
Yeah.
Just did it.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
That's too bad. You could have put it at least past the chimney. You could have moved it.
Has this installation started already?
No, nothing's started.
So is the roof asphalt?
Yes.
Right, tell me, I'm looking.
What kind of a box?
Time and money.
I'll have to transfer your sales, yeah.
Part of, sorry.
What? Traditional.
You know, since that meter is already there. We've asked in the past that not all of the. Interface equipment to get put there, just the required shut off. And the other equipment be located somewhere less visible.
Okay.
Go to that. That.
Yeah. Just as far back as you. I know this is gonna be a rewrite for you, but appreciate the effort in rewriting.
Yeah. Is the conduit running on the roof down the side of the building? Yep. Where is that located? Can you bring up the concept?
Driver's, like driver's side or?
And scroll down. Yeah.
It's right in the
Junction box.
It's a touch screen, so.
Yeah. It's just here. So it's in the front. Okay. Usually, if there's a way to get it in the back, that would be better. Alright, I was thinking. Have it wired.
Not just laid on.
Yeah. Yeah. Or more.
Yeah.
It's a, be another concern up to the 15.
So it's, I mean, it's up to you, we can vote as it is today, or you can take, or put that one back and continue into the 15th and then come back and represent what those changes are.
I'm gonna bring this back to client and design, just to meet your questions. You asked for 4 possible changes. One, can we put a couple of the panels from the front onto the garage?
Let's see that. It's very reasonable.
Oh, yes. 2, can utility meter be moved further from the street?
They won't. The electric companies make them.
Oh, no, they're not gonna.
But.
Yeah.
Or shut off, could all the boxes that are relative to the solar system. Solar system. Yeah, they just have the shut off there, because it has to be close to that for the fire.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
But the other things don't have to be. We've had them presented to us, some of the companies that are used to us now, they've separated them several times, not many, several. Just look into that too, and the positives, you don't see it too much.
Yeah, and you asked if the conduit can be moved to the back for you. Or run through the attic, so it's not on the exterior at all.
It's just not for the time, so.
Yeah.
Any conduit that's, even if it's just normally both painted. To match the back. But, yeah, that covers it.
So you're good.
Yeah, I'm just looking for design sense.
Great, so I would entertain a motion from the board to move this to the January 15th meeting.
So. Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great, awesome. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay. 49 Florentine Gardens. Basement, I guess. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Name your home address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Sam Stonefield and 336 Reed Landing in Springfield. I'm presenting the window replacement application on behalf of my son, Will Stonefield, who is here, and my daughter-in-law, Suzanne Coogan, who's here. They are the owners of the property. They currently live, they're renting in Quincy and hope to move back to Springfield. I would like to be, if I could, I'd like to talk about the house and then explain how with the transfer of the ownership from my wife Allison, who's here, to our son and daughter-in-law, we came across a serious lead paint problem. And in order to attack the lead paint problem, that led to the window replacement. That's the reason why we're here. Sure. So I have I feel these to Andrew And I just, you got the two visual aids, and one is it's similar to the picture, that's in the application. But it's a, just. So this is our house. It's a beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood. My wife and I lived there for 47 years. Our son grew up with us. As I mentioned in our application, we received an award from the Springfield Preservation Trust in 2006 for restoration and maintenance of the property. We moved on November 5th to Reed's Landing Retirement Community. Moved when I turned 80. We decided to move. That's where we are now. We were delighted when Will and Susie indicated that they wanted to move back to Springfield and live in our house. I mean, what could be better? We're over the moon. Prior to the transfer, as part of their due diligence, they had a number of inspections done, including a lead paint inspection. The lead paint inspection revealed that there was lots of lead in the house, old historic house. No surprises, but it's brutal. I attached a copy of the report to the application. Here it is. You can see it's a 33-pager. It's very, very, very detailed. Will and Susie then had to decide what to do. Should they ignore it, as Mom and Dad had done for 47 years, or address it? We decided to take the bull by the horns and to address it. They wanted to de-lead and provide a fully safe environment in which to raise a family. There's lead paint in 33 windows, in 21 doors, in most of the window frames and door frames. You know, there's lead all over it, an old house. There's no surprise, but it's when you come to grips with it, it's pretty impressive. The de-leading will be extensive and expensive. It has to be done entirely by a state licensed certified contractor. After consulting with 5 potential contractors, we found and selected one named Robin Jones. Some of you may be familiar with him, as he's had applications before the commission in the past. One of his references was Tom Belton, who many of you may have know and served on the commission for a number of years. Robin is a Springfield born and bred. He's a Tech High and UMass grad. He worked for over a decade with Charles Rutz with Springfield Neighborhood Housing Services, and then he worked for 3 years as the director of the Springfield Lead Paint Hazard Maintenance Program. He has experience both with de-leading and with historic buildings. We feel he was by far the best person. If the application is approved, Robin will start the de-leading process on January 3rd. Expects to be done by the middle to late March, and hopefully Susie and Will move into the house in April. The original plan was to move in over Thanksgiving week, you know. So much for that was before all the lead. With respect, now turning to the windows. All 5 contractors that we consulted with were firm in the belief that working with the existing windows was infeasible. The removal and de-leading process was most of them would probably fall apart. Be very difficult to control. We then looked at many types of replacement windows. We finally selected the Vinyl Max windows because, one, they're are attractive. They're priced slightly less than the nationally advertised brands. And they had been previously approved by this commission. We've been working with Vinyl Max to get the best possible window. And it's been a little bit tough because we're a very small retail customer or big company, but we pushed and finally got a window that we really like. The window with the rendering before you is not the window, is a 4/1 and is not what was in our original application. At the time of the application, all we could get from them was a Colonial 6/6. We didn't like it, but it was the best we were able to get. We kept pushing and negotiating, and we finally got this 4/1. It doesn't have the diamond stuff at the top. We couldn't find that. But we like it. You can see from the rendering, it'll be brown, the current color, have a brown exterior grids. The rendering doesn't make clear, but the grids will be done in the so-called Georgian style, which is kind of raised and has a little bit of detailing in it.
On the outside of the window?
Pardon?
On the outside of the window?
On the outside,
Yeah.
exterior.
Yeah, external mullions, I think we call it, or external grids.
Pardon?
We call it like an external grid or an external mullions.
Yes, the grill.
It's on the outside.
It's on the outside.
It's on the outside.
That is correct. It's on the outside. So before I open up for questions, I just want to tell you that my wife and I have discussed the de-leading and window replacement process with our neighbors. Everyone has enthusiastically approved. Because of the agenda and after discussion with Andrew, we did not ask people to come and vocally support, but we did have a statement of support which we submitted. And now two of our neighbors are here, Jack and Joyce. But instead of the live testimony, we have a statement of support, and particularly we have 2 letters of support from our across the street abutter, Jeff Sullivan. Some of you know who he was with United Bank and now does one of these small own banks. And he looks at this. You know, as he said, I look across and see that Springfield house every day, and I'll be pleased with this with the new windows. And then Steve Carey, and some of you may know him from Focus Springfield and the local public TV. I mean, he wrote a letter of support urging something that I feel pretty strongly about, which is important for us in the city of Springfield to encourage and support young people who want to come and start raising their families in Springfield and in historic districts. That means having to address the lead problem. We were willing to ignore it for 47 years. I think this new generation is more aware of health issues and more determined to do it right. And they're Will and Susie, I think, are determined to do it right.
You have a question to the existing windows?
Pardon?
The existing windows.
The existing windows, yes.
Yes, because they have significant historic detail, and how many, so I can't tell from the pictures of how many have that detail, that upper sash detail. Is just the front of the house, or is it all the way around?
It's not all the way around. I believe, I'm trying to remember all the numbers, but I think it's either 12 or 13 or 14.
We found, I'm gonna speak frankly, we found that contractors really find the easiest thing to do is just rip out old windows and throw them away. We really have no interest in either repairing or replacing or trying to strip them with lead paint. The excuse is usually lead paint or you know, or saving money efficiency. And, I mean, what's the condition of the original windows? Are they falling apart? Are they rotting? Are they?
They vary.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but
The ones on the front, which is the west side.
Yeah.
Take the brunt, they're in the worst shape. You know, the ones on the back, on two windows on the back, are on the east and slightly northeast side are in better shape. The windows that are lower of but to remove to de-lead, all the contractors said they'd have to remove the windows, of course. Then they're either gonna have to, you know, a couple of them said that there's still no place where they can dip them, you know, the old way. Lots of it not legally in the middle.
Well, that's actually.
But the lead removal process is going to probably, but they typically said maybe half of them are gonna fall apart. And so then we're gonna have to rebuild, or we're gonna have half new, half old. Each of the contractors who said it really was not feasible. So I mean, it's not removing the windows for, you know, let's put in some airtight windows. I mean, I agree with you, and we love these windows. But it's just, if you're gonna have a lead-free house, I think we have to remove the window.
Well,
I have a picture of a close-up picture, and you can actually look for comparison purposes of the windows and compare it to the current ones. I think this is the picture blow up of the current windows, and then you can compare it with. I mean, it's missing the diamonds. There's no question about that. Okay, yeah.
if they're not able to do a diamond grid cut.
We couldn't get anybody that could do that. There was one company that could do diamonds, the whole thing, like you know, like those, which look kind of cheesy. But no one could do this. So we thought the pour over was the best.
The closest to it, yeah.
I'm not sure. There are times that we have to go look at windows and see the condition, because sometimes they're not going to vary much. Say, using adjustments and just the process to have that be that to the. It's just.
I would say that the each contractor said that the part of the window that was most likely to fall apart, to fail in the de-leading process was the trim. Right, because that is
Typically,
that is the most fragile.
Typically, it's where it's not the lead itself. It's when it becomes airborne, right? Or you lick it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it should be.
The biggest problem with the windows is you can de-lead. You don't have to remove them. You can encapsulate them, so it could be treated, painted. The problem is where the sash goes up and down in the slider.
Yes.
When that rubs together, then it becomes airborne. That's the real. That's the real thing. Unless they're rotted, unless they're falling apart, then it almost doesn't matter.
Well, no, friction release, that is the most serious problem.
Yeah.
The lead inspection report clearly indicates, though, that the it is we have tried to do the interior painting of the grid, the pattern, but it weathers. I mean, quite rapidly, and so that lead paint is always loose, and it has to be.
You have to treat the whole window. It has to be reglazed, you have to have the right kind of primer sealer, and then you have to have the right kind of paint. And you have to have the right, so it doesn't move and seed and then cover it, stay.
Exactly.
Because once it starts moving around, then everything breaks up.
That's right, exactly.
Then you
Exactly.
Okay, any other questions or feedback?
I would also point out that that pattern, which you're referring to, the diamonds, that Gothic tracery that's on those windows is part of the character of that house, and it's a really important character of the neighborhood, and we can see that replicated in other homes in the neighborhood. So it just seems it would be a very unfortunate if that went into the scrap heap instead of being restored somehow. And it does appear that it's on the front and on the sides, at least in the photographs that were in the application.
Yes.
It's a very compelling window treatment. And I think it's important to look at it as a historic element and a historic narrative in itself. That this is part of the exuberance of that period. That's what makes this house so special, and losing that makes it that much less special.
I do not disagree with that at all. What I say is we did not want to do this. We didn't do it for 47 years.
Right.
But I think I would like the commission to understand the implications of this.
Oh, absolutely.
That there is a real, I think, overwhelming advantage to encouraging young families to return to the city. And that means dealing with the lead issue. And that, I'm not saying that there's not a cost, but I'm saying that I think the benefit for the neighborhood and the vibrancy of the of Springfield. I mean, we want.
We understand.
We want that to happen.
Completely understand the reason.
Is there any way that it's the beauty of those top windows, that top cap, that really sets off that front? I just wondered if there was any way to keep those, just the glass, to be able to have it. If the glass doesn't go away, and eventually they want new wood windows, the glass could be a part of it, or it could be hung behind these windows.
Well,
and suggest.
we've thought about that, sort of like almost like a facade.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, I don't know. I mean, we wanted. I mean, my wife and I particularly, I mean, we love those windows. We've seen them every day for 47 years.
Yeah.
They are part of the house, and Mr. Coffey, they are part of the neighborhood. I mean, I'm not denying it. We couldn't get anyone to come near, sort of saving that as part of the deal. I mean, it's kind of that. I mean, that's. I wish we could.
Okay, any other questions from?
I think just keep looking at the front of this house and Even the front of the house, we're able to really protect those windows. Front of the house. I think I'd be happier about that because to just take those out, part of what we do, you know, the problem with being on the commission right now is it's not whether they're lead paint or not, and none of that has anything to do with what we do, it's what does the visual, what does it look like from a public way? But we all know, but we know from people that have been in front of us before that they have had their windows de-leaded and restored to service. We also know that this is most of the time when contractor tells us the window's no good, usually full of it. Because we very often go look at houses and we go in and these windows are beautiful shape, they said they're 100 years old, but I'm gonna tell you right now, 100 years from now, that was not gonna be, there'll be another one afterwards, because violence, you know, like wood windows, so we just try to hope that people might try to shape it towards the preservation of the wood windows, when it's such a unique part of that. I don't mind this window, I mean, it's just part of me wants to suggest that you consider restoring some of these windows so that even if it were just a front, I'm not sure, and I should be asking that they all stay realistically, but that doesn't get you anywhere, and it doesn't get us anywhere. Nothing happens, right? We've seen other solutions. We can't tell you who does business. We can't ever refer you to someone, but there are people that can do this for people. Restore these windows so they're lead free when they're back in your house.
At what price?
I don't know. We can't, that's one of the things we can't do. It can be price if it's hardship. I'm trying to draw a kind of line in the middle where when somebody looks at the front of your house, they still see the same historic detail. If that's a possibility. If it's not, we just go to a public hearing, we take a vote. That's probably what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to look at the detail, because if you lose this detail, and it doesn't matter if Kevin Street or whoever else is on there. If they take the detail out of their house, what do you have? What do you not have shortly? You don't have a historic district. It doesn't happen overnight, but if everybody did it different, if not one person in the district did it by any guidelines that we have, then. So my request is only that or my general request is that a different solution be considered for historic details. So this is one where I would ask for different consideration. Then the window, even if you had four over ones, I'd approve that window. So, anyway, that's all I have. I'm just throwing it out there.
So we do have 401.
Well, it's the detail of the mulligans is what we're talking about. That was just.
Okay, so thank you, Commissioner Walsh. Anything from anyone else? Okay, we'll open it up to public comment. Anyone like to speak for or against? Please name and address the record.
Pamela Crocco, 24 Mountain Street in Springfield. And I'd like to speak in favor of the proposal of the gentleman here, vehemently and emphatically. I have 3 small children, and we relocated from Lowell all the way out here because Springfield is one of the few places that people can still afford, frankly. And I love this neighborhood so much, I couldn't stop talking about it. I moved 5 years ago, that my friend Kendra, she was moved out here, at a historical. But with small children, lead is a consideration, and these houses are not just, your run-of-the-mill house. When you look at a historic house, as a young family with limited budget and raising children, and it's expensive to take care of these houses, and if you already have to deal with living and all that, you're not gonna have anybody in these houses. You be living in them, maintaining them, enjoying them, and outside of it, so.
Thank you. See you for.
Should do this.
Anyone else like to speak for or against?
Jack Hunter, 292 Washington Boulevard. Again, we have I guess we have a tight neighborhood because I'm here in support of Sam and Allison. We've known Will since he was a young boy. You know, Seems to me there's three options, you vote no, and then they gotta make a hard decision. Most likely not moving in. And then there goes the young family in the neighborhood and who knows what happened. I don't think anyone with kids would move in with 33 windows with lead paint. The other option is to obviously let him be able to proceed. And I know I appreciate your position, really do, I've been there many times, but this is extraordinary, for 32 windows. To have lead paint and restore them is just cost prohibitive. The most many.
So you're.
I'm in favor,
Thank you.
and if Sam wants to make a deal, then I'm in favor of that.
Thank you. Anyone else, please? Name and address for the record. Elmer Pies, 36 Western Street. Thank you. I'm young. I own a historic house too. I have kids and I consider it. So you're fair. Yes. Thank you.
I'd like to talk, Will Stonefield, 77 Adams Street, hopefully future resident of 49 Florentine Gardens. I let him talk because he's a lawyer and I'm not. I just want to say, since my wife Susie and I are here, we are committed to being good stewards of this house. I grew up in this house. I care deeply about this house. We care about the historic character of the house. We also care about having a safe place for us to raise our family. And I think that this window will let us do both of those things.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else for or against?
Joe Kanahaj, Elmer's neighbor, 40 Western View Street. I'd like to speak for the proposal here. Again, just echoing some of the things that's already been said, but I think I appreciate everything that the board does and wants to do to preserve this home, but part of the character of these talks is also the character of the people that we have at the homes. Again, I think, if you let people do whatever they want, you don't have a historic commission, but if you deter people from wanting to, live in these homes and who already appreciate, Springfield and of course Park Heights districts, we also want sort of district. So I support, their efforts in trying to, do what's safe for their family and also still try to preserve the spirit of what we're looking at.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thanks for everybody's input. Bring it back to the board. If we do have 2 letters to read in.
Yeah, and then the support.
I'm sorry?
2 letters and then the support.
Yeah, there's a support piece, that's a comment, the second piece. Dear Historic Commission, I'm writing in support of the window replacement for the renovations at 49 Florentine Gardens. Since 1993, I've lived across the street from 52 Florentine and had the pleasure of having Stonefield as my neighbors for the entire time. In fact, the new property owner, Will Stonefield, was a youth growing up in the house when we purchased our home. Stonefield's been exemplary neighbors and taking great care of the property for 3 decades that I've been here in the neighborhood. I have no reason to believe that the good habits to keep up with the property are going to skip a generation trait. I am sure that Will and his wife Susie will maintain the pride and ownership of the property. I look forward to the front of the house, including the windows every day. I have no doubt the view. Then the new windows installed will be every bit as attractive and in character with the neighborhood. Moreover, I have every reason to trust that Will and Susie will have excellent students to the property and maintain the property to top condition for decades. Best regards, Jeffrey Sullivan. Next letter is from the Historic Commission. Dear Commissioners, I've written I'm Forest Park neighborhood, married to my next door neighbor, Kelly Fitzpatrick, and we have raised our family here and look forward to remaining in this wonderful place for a long time. I write in support of the replacement window renovations at 49 Florentine Gardens. I also write to make an important point about the future of Springfield and the fine neighborhoods, our city homes, especially my little corner, cozy corner as it's reported to. We need to encourage more young people to move into our city and raise families in Springfield. If we do so, our neighborhoods will remain vibrant, close-knit, and special. And if we can invite people who grew up here to return, I love it. Lead paint contamination is an unfortunate reality in many of our older historic homes, and it can be a barrier to young families. My wife Kelly is a nurse, and when we were expecting our twins in 1993, she demanded we mitigate lead exposure from our newborns by replacing the windows in their bedroom. Will and Stuzy Stonefield are willing to step up to the plate and undertake an even greater, extensive, more expensive deletting process. They should be commended for support and be supported in their effort. Window replacement is a necessary part of that process. The windows that they have chosen will complement and enhance the property and enable them to live in a safe, compliant environment. I've enjoyed having Sam and Allison Stonefield as friends and neighbors for many decades. Kelly and I are thrilled to welcome new generations of Stonefields back to the neighborhood. This is exactly what we want to happen in our historic district and throughout the city as a whole. Steve McKinney. We also have sign offs from many of your neighbors about their support. If you have one, Andrew. Go ahead.
How do you don't mention the doors, and yet they're mentioned as having lead also. What do you intend to do with the doors?
Doors, these are the interior doors, not the exterior door. The exterior door on the front.
Right.
Wonderful door. Does not have lead. It was, we got it from that old, what's the one on near in the gasoline alley?
The old restore.
Yeah, and we got it soon after we moved in, stripped it, had a carpenter put it in, so it. And
so you don't have any interior doors with lead?
Oh, no, 17 interior doors.
Okay, but that's what the question is.
So they're having to be stripped, and but mainly the exit, and then all the door trim.
So all that's being stripped.
Well, that will be stripped. It hasn't started yet.
Okay.
The rear door, the rear exterior door, which is really not visible from the street. I'm not sure. Does that have lead? Will, do you remember?
I don't believe it does, but I would have to check the report.
But it's really all the interior doors were hot. And had lead.
So the issue around not being able to do the windows is the fact that paint glass will disintegrate, the whole window will disintegrate when that's done, right? What I mean.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just make a statement that everybody's right. There isn't a black and white decision. Sometimes you felt like this in people's lives, but it's a historic district. And with Commissioner Walsh's point, if you take away everything that looks historic, you don't have a historic district anymore. Part of the reason that people liked it, they put this in place was for preservation. So sometimes these decisions are easy. You look at solar panels or you look at shutoffs and it doesn't fit, make it fit. Decisions like these are very difficult. So it's, not personal, it's always, and that sometimes you try and figure out, is there a way you can do both, that it takes care of the problem and still has some aesthetics that make it look historic, so. With that, I'll just ask if somebody wants to make a motion on the application. At 49 Florentine.
I move to accept the application as presented.
Okay, any other discussion on it? Okay, Commissioner Kroll?
I'm a yes.
Okay, Commissioner Zorzi?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh?
Yes.
Commissioner Nestor?
Yes.
Commissioner Coffey?
No.
And Commissioner Kroll is a yes as well. Okay, so it passed. Today, something happens, you can't get that window, they can't have the styles, they can't have external mullions. Come back. The only other suggestion I would have for you is all of those real fancy windows are valuable to somebody. So whoever you have doing work, don't throw them away. Somebody's gonna want them.
If you find that there's somebody that's just in front of the house, even the second floor.
No.
House, while you're doing this.
But we.
They come back and say, hey, we did want to do this.
We'll exploring that.
Yeah, because you could explore just the rooms that are gonna be where the baby is, and where you guys are gonna be, and maybe there's never gonna be anybody on the third floor.
Yes, our contractor is pretty sensitive to that, and I think, and he's creative, and I think he'll, I can't represent.
Sure.
So we're gonna have to.
There.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck with the project.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, good luck with your project.
Yeah, exactly. It's their baby. But you know, it's just gonna be that for 2 months, so they can be, you know, hazmat suits and all that.
Okay, next one is 21 Mountain View. Somebody here for 21 Mountain View. Windows, doors.
Probably single, I was at 34 hours in West Springfield, I'm here or the.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they sent in a letter or not.
Previous week, yeah, I got it.
So I guess there was a. Red rates, you said?
Yeah. Where did I hear? Yeah, is this a stop work order or is this they didn't, you know, is this there were states that were approved and they didn't do it?
So there's a couple things going on. I have the violations in the packet here, so someone had forwarded me that the diamond windows, diamond grids on the outside were not correctly installed, so when I started researching the building and researching the history on the property, I came about a hearing in 2023 where after the fire, the landowner came in to have the siding and windows replaced, restored. And so, and watching those hearings, the siding was approved by the commission in the first hearing, but the windows remained an issue, so it was continued. And then at the continued hearing, no one showed and the application was set to expire, so that part of the application was denied. And then I was able to piece together, as you can see, the windows were put in, and then from what I can tell, the door has also been changed in addition to some foundational work that you can see from staff photos that I can bring up. But it does, yeah, you can see this 2015, so you can see the windows, the door, and this, and then the photos that I think I have in the packet.
Yeah, if you can bring those up, that'd be very helpful.
So that was the first time. Yeah, so here's the foundational work that you can see. It used to be solid, smooth, and then the door. You can I can bring up the actual photos and you can see it better, but you can see the door has changed from what it was, and then from the photos that you've seen in your packet have also changed. So that's kind of the history of where we are today. Yeah.
I see the 2006 or 2008 meeting where the Bob McCarroll signs off on the vinyl windows in the third floor as long as they put external thirds on them.
Yeah, that's correct. So that was the certificate of approval back in 2006.
So they don't have, they took the grid. Just put those grids on it.
Yeah, it seemed as if that part might have been resolved. Yeah,
That's a recent picture.
so it seems it sounds as if that part is rectified, but we still have the windows, doors.
We just asked them about that, about the grids that are all the windows that had those.
I believe it was the top three, yes.
The top three, yeah, it's great. Okay, so what else?
So it's the windows as a whole, since that part was never approved in 2023. And then we have the foundation aspect and the door that has changed. And, from what I couldn't tell, but you know, the roof has changed as well, but that seemed to have been.
It was about.
Yeah, and because of the fire, that obviously was gonna be replaced.
But then most of it must have been done, because of the fire, it must have been done.
Yeah, everything was done with permits and all the permits and so done.
So the building department issued you permits even without our approval of how many those things you were gonna put in there?
I'm not sure.
Andrew, do we know that?
That part, I'm unaware, they never communicated anything back. They were copied on.
Do you know who put this on the list?
Contractor. Working the house. I'm just here for the owner of.
Okay,
He's not there.
but typically, these are the things we would ask for.
Yeah.
The window color, we would not approve the window color, we would want to decrease fish story. Then he has done the 3 of those top.
There's other grids
Yeah, well, there's other,
of the other windows have grids. On the top.
and then, just in general, designing the color mainly. I mean, there have been times we've compromised on some of these. Now, the foundation is just. What happened to, what's been done to the foundation?
Why does it have that? So
I'm not sure, yes, the contractor who did the work, it was cracking, foundation was all cracked.
So
they were skipped with it.
And then.
Stenciled it or something.
Yeah, it's a stencil, yeah.
Looks like they just stenciled it to match. What was there?
No, there was never a grid there.
Okay, then.
No, yeah, I don't. No, I don't
Just
know.
got creative.
Yeah. Or just bad.
And the front door was completely damaged by the fire, it's that, so it wasn't salvaged, so. Just, the front door from like the. Old house, he was able to find, so it's still from the historic,
Yeah, I mean, people usually, you gotta do whatever you gotta do to serve the building, but then typically we come here and say, hey.
That's right.
I had to replace the door, this is what I have. Yeah, you guys are back at that door is the leak. It's not bad. So what's the owner's opinion on the windows? This. I mean, you can read from the previous thing, I mean, the external grids that were originally on the windows. The approval on the 3 to do on the top to emulate the grid pattern. So, is that something that he would want to try and do or try and present to fix all the windows that are installed?
well. Front will have, I believe all the top windows have grids.
There's
2. So it's exact.
In the whole house or just on the 3rd floor?
On the 3rd floor, I don't remember there was any grid, I don't think there was any grids on the.
if you've seen this photo, it's not necessarily the same type of grid, it's just square pattern. I can see it for sure on these 2. And it looks like, from what I can tell, it's on the side ones as well. Also, these windows are not the same size as the ones that are in the front currently.
Top ones or?
On the 2nd floor.
I don't think any of the window sizes.
They're much bigger.
Yeah, I don't know, but they were all fire damage, so. I'm not sure what they look like before.
Who's the big shooters? Who's the big shooters?
This must have been connected. Oh,
No,
no,
no, David.
this would have been connected. Looks like all fire damage windows, so it would have been like one of this.
Yeah, well, you're able to verify 23 that we already have, I know them. That's what this says. If that were the case, this is different than if it were not the case.
But if they change the size of the.
Right, that's right, I understand that, but if it had vinyl windows already. So whether we, well, you know, we need to prove it, if someone put them in and they had fire.
I believe it was right, my. First, so.
I vaguely remember it was, a man of Asian descent who came for us. And he showed us the pictures of the roof and everything, and we told them to remove the final windows, but they had to be the same size.
Right.
And you never said anything about a door. And he had to have bricks. So we never, and so what he did was we approved fixing the roof and stuff. And then he just took it upon himself to do everything else. So this is the issue.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I wasn't involved in this, I'm just here, because he can't be present today. But
And so probably yeah, chairs thing. Here.
Is it possible that none of the work was permitted?
It's also, could be, I can look into permits were issued.
I remember the back house was bad and it was. Yep.
This maybe 6 it's 2 years ago. Yeah, I do. I vaguely recall that we finally agreed that there were already replacement windows in there, so that's what's going to be able to do that. Right, except for the grid patterns were there. But I'm not sure what once they change size is not.
If you go back up.
Yeah.
So here, those windows are the correct size, it looks like.
Yep.
The windows that are in there right now, whether or not those are vinyl, that's a different story, but those are not the same windows that are in there.
That's what it actually looks like is, what do you call those, shutters?
Yeah, the shutters on it, it's fine.
And it looks like they just left it, made the side big, like the shutters, but they didn't give us.
And we got.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. This is.
Yeah. He's too big.
Yeah. And you want to split it right off to you, Mr. Chairman? No.
What was that? Yeah, that's the new. That's the.
It might be better.
You zoom in on the old time?
Might be better.
Well, it would they have the old one?
I think it's the same one.
Well, see that?
Yeah.
That's a stick right there. And we never even approved the door.
No, we didn't.
Same size.
Well, it would be helpful to understand what permits were pulled. So it's clearly windows were replaced that. I mean, and everything else on it, it was doors, the door was valid,
Different size.
Foundation was.
Yeah,
And the owner's not here to. You're not able to make decisions for them.
So what do you guys want to do?
Well, there's clear violations here, you never got permission to do any of this work. So he's not here to answer for it, he's not here to say how he's changed this to make it compliant. So I appreciate your time showing up. But those are kind of the things that he's gonna need to answer for. Or have somebody authorized to say, this is what I propose we're gonna do about this. And since you don't know any of the history, I don't know why he asked you to call, because it kind of puts you in a bad spot, because there's really nothing you can authorize, right? So the suggestion would be for him to come and answer, you know, what he intends to do, because none of this stuff was approved. Probably would approve half of these things. And, you know, why did he do it? More importantly, what's he willing to do to change what you're trying to make it?
So you can continue to January 15th?
Or that would probably be the.
You'll be able to research it. My homework will be to research what permits were pulled.
Yeah, I think that would be very helpful, you know, understand what actually was done.
Urban is not permitted. Yeah, to be clear, what we're talking about is, if he's not here, somebody that used to, can speak to how things will be remediated.
That's right.
It's not a question of coming and showing up, it's a question of what's the action plan?
Yeah, the authority to make changes. Yep. Okay. That makes sense?
Yeah. I make a motion to continue the application.
Second. Yes, that interject before
Yeah.
you vote, I don't know if I'm going to do public comment now, or if once we do the continued hearing.
We gotta have solution before.
Yeah, I mean, people can comment, but without saying what the proposal would be.
Yeah.
We just want to probably say it again later when they find out what the proposal from the owner would be. So we have first from Commissioner Walsh to continue, we have a second.
And second.
So, thank you. Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Second's already good for us. All right, January 5th, I will, thank you.
You're gonna be good on here.
I'll be the only one here in a second. Okay, environmental review, or no, yeah, environmental review. Daniel Street.
Well,
Right though.
good. Yeah, too. Name and address for the record.
Daniel Diaz, 146 Garland Street, Springfield, Mass.
Before you guys get started, I did come to learn that there was a preservation restriction with this property that I put in your packet. I don't know. Yeah. I warned it as an environmental review. I don't know if that's an issue or not.
More than a minute to.
That is. Okay. So tough up with
project that.
Yes, sir. So I am a project manager for RISE. We're one of the lead vendors for the Mass Safety Program. We performed an energy assessment on this property and we recommended quite a bit of insulation work in the attic, exterior walls, some basement work as well. Attic has zero ventilation, so in order for us to move forward with the insulation work, we will need to ventilate the attic. So we proposed a ridge vent. And we are gonna match the shingles to the existing ones. But I think that's the only reason I think.
It appears to me, so just a asphalt shingle ridge.
Asphalt shingle.
Matching.
Matching.
Yeah. How big is it?
Yeah,
I know that some are smaller than others.
Right, so it'll be, I don't have the actual answer.
It shouldn't be an issue with you, yeah, so I was just wondering, I know that I've seen some of that happen.
Sure.
Depending on the length of the size and stuff. They got that one.
Yeah, I believe it's pretty much gonna be the whole length of the bridge, so.
Okay, so. That, like that,
Correct.
that's what it's gonna look like.
That's it.
I don't think that's good, adverse environment. That's what we're doing.
It's under environmental review. I mean, I think, and
Yeah.
I read the preservation restriction and seeing.
And I think it falls with, I think it falls with the preservation restriction.
Sorry, it's already an asphalt road.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a review, we don't need public comment, and we just need an opinion, and if it's not, have a negative impact,
Yeah,
just sort of.
I mean, it might, given that there's a preservation restriction, it might be good to formalize. Things like that push in.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do that, I just.
And I know. You're from the preservation truck is there, I don't know if you're very specifically for this, but.
He goes. What she's on.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, one hurt to do.
Yeah, is he here for this?
I don't know, but I probably wouldn't correctly throw it out, but.
Okay, we'll take. Public comment, if anyone wants to speak for or against the ridge vent for 22 Salem Street.
Aaron Seymour, 68 Washington Road, and I approve.
Well, very approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, anyone else? All with you. Anyone online?
Yeah.
Thanks, right back to the commission. What is, made a motion on the. Environmental review for 22 Salem Street for the roof.
I make a motion that there is no adverse environmental impact on 22 Salem Street by the installation of a ridge vent. Full length of the property with a matching shingle cover.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion on that? All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Enjoy them too.
Thank you.
It's gonna be less stressful here. Did you learn a lot tonight, though? You got to see the whole meeting.
I did. I had fun. Thank you guys.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
52 Bay Street, demolition of a single family dwelling. Name and home address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Sam Scottatone. You want, I'm here representing Wayfinder.
Yeah, but for our bylaws, we always ask.
Okay.
Whoever's speaking first, your name and your home address, and after that, we know your application.
Home address, 15 Kingsley Avenue, Northampton.
Great, thank you. Okay. You're close.
Yeah, so I'm here on behalf of Wayfinders. I'm the real estate project manager. And we are here to request a demo of a waiver for 52 Bay Street. This is part of our City of Homes initiative, which is a partnership with the City of Springfield, grant funding from Mass Mutual and Bay State Health, as well as, the Commonwealth Neighborhood Stabilization Funds. So if you could go to the next slide. I think we were before you, somebody else from our team was before you about a year ago for a couple of other properties.
On the bottom right, I think.
Tyler Street, yeah.
Yep.
So those actually were demoed finally just like last week. And then a few of these other properties that you see here are already underway. So this is just an example of some of the City of Homes work they're doing. And the goal of our City of Homes initiative is to help stabilize these neighborhoods that have seen disinvestment for high vacancy. And simultaneously to either rehabilitate the properties or tear down the dilapidated homes and build new ones in their places and sell them to income eligible home buyers at 80 to 100% of area median income. So this is a property that was cited by code enforcement for violations, and a few years ago was the city asked a court to have a special attorney receiver take over the property. And we are now under contract to acquire the property from the special attorney receiver. And our plan for the property, just an overview of the property. There are actually two homes on the property. The front one is known as 56 Bay Street, the two-family dating from 1870. The rear house is 52 Bay Street, and so I'm here tonight to talk only about 52 Bay Street.
But it's one parcel.
It is, yeah, they're on the same parcel.
Yep, and the rear building used to be a carriage house originally.
Yeah. So the plan, based on the condition of 52 Bay Street, we do not feel it's financially feasible to rehab it. I provided in the application the code enforcement and the code enforcement documentation, as well as an appraisal noting the poor condition of the house. And yeah, so you can
what happens when you don't do any work on home?
yeah, so you can see there's a giant hole in the roof that's and it looks like there's quite a bit of water damage. There was holes in the siding and cracks in the foundation. So it's unfortunate, but we don't feel it be difficult to rehab. 56 Bay Street, on the other hand, we are planning to rehab. We're getting underway with these architects to develop a plan for rehab. We did submit ENFs to Mass Historical Commission, and we have not gotten a comment back on either of those yet. But that's
456
for either of the two, but I mean it's one property, so we submitted one.
In the submission, did you include 52 or just 56?
Both.
So both buildings.
Yes.
Rehab were submitted.
No. We told them we were demoing.
Okay, well, yeah, that's what I'm asking. Did you just apply like for 56 and 52 is gonna go one?
Correct. Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell. Do you have any questions?
No.
What does the inside of 56 look like?
I have not personally walked it myself. It's also in poor condition, as I understand it. It's probably a gut rehab on the inside. But, you know, I think the roof was in better shape, you know, there's not as much damage from the elements.
I think there was someone in that house just maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah,
So
so
already been abandoned now.
I think, yeah, I think the code enforcement violation was like 2022 or 2023.
Everybody stopped all.
Did it include any of the court documents and physical packets, because it was like 90 pages?
Yeah.
And 10 pages, but I do have them available if you want to see.
Any questions from commissioners?
Has there been any like structural tests or has the structural engineer looked at it for integrity at all?
I don't believe so. I think we were just relying on the information from the other professionals who have looked at it. We also did have environmental testing done on it. We did a phase 1 for the property and a hazmat survey, so there's also lead and asbestos that would need to be taken care of if we.
I mean, in front house as well.
Yeah.
Then anybody know someone took it out. Well, in both cases, when you did the demo, most of it would go away. You go for the lead and the was in the panel. Or the tin, which if you gutted this, it will all go away. You wouldn't have that problem. Right? Okay, any other?
I find that it's interesting that the name of your league is called what?
Wayfinders.
Wayfinders that. And City of Homes is part of this project, and yet you're taking out 6, 7 homes.
What we're pushing the number of.
Just
Yeah.
a sad observation.
Open it up to,
I believe you have 2 Jim Boone letters.
I do, I'm gonna read them, but I wanna respect the people
Yeah,
that are
well,
out first.
I mean, I think that Jim Boone is great, and I read the letters, but when I see the pictures, it's like, how could anybody agree with it? You know.
Anyone else like to speak? Public comment? This property. Again, this is for a demo delay.
Yes.
There's somebody online like to speak on this?
Care Homes Springfield Preservation Trust, can everyone hear me?
No. Very poorly.
Poorly, I'm sorry. Any better?
Not really.
You're breaking
All
up.
right.
Give it a try. Go ahead, Kara.
So basically, this is Springfield Preservation Trust, Care Homes, 74 Walnut Street. We would like to pose the essentially lift of the demo delay ordinance on the grounds that essentially this is originally historic 1870 building that was then transformed into a single family house about 1900 and is in the McKnight National Register, as well as we're called the City of Homes. We want to preserve them for the future. I do understand that there's a lot of work to be done, but if you lose the building, then you lose it forever.
If we look at the building, what? If we lose the building.
And if you lose the building, you lose it forever.
Got it. Thank you, Kara. Okay, I'll close the public comment.
Clarification.
Yeah.
So, we are being asked to lift a delay.
The demo delay, yes. I have 2 more letters I need to read in. Actually, it's just one, because here's the one. This is from Jim Boone, Deer Historic Commission. I want to add this information to my earlier opposition to the lifting of demolition delay at 52 Bay Street. Property is a contributing property in the McKnight National Register Historic District. In the commission's previous permissions to wayfinders to lift the delay at Tyler Street, the reason was as shown below. Reason due to the property not having any significant historic history, and the property not contributing significantly to the area or within a collection of buildings, the commission voted to exempt the property from the 9-month delay of the demolition ordinance. Clearly, 52 Bay Street does not meet these conditions as it does contribute significantly to the history of the area, both by its construction date, its unique adaptive reuse from original building, and its uniqueness in the city. There are only about 12 other houses in Springfield that were originally barns or carriage houses that were converted for reuse as a single family home and on the same property as the same name house. I listed them. This makes 52 Bay especially worthy of restoration and saving. 97 Florida Street, 36 Dartmouth Street, 93 Bowman Street, 91 Mulberry Street, 82 Knoll Street, 152 Mulberry Street, 91 Mulberry Street, 190 Long Hill, 325 Long Hill, 210 Maple, 62 Wellington, 95 Dartmouth Street, 360 Kinzer Street, and 27 Ingersoll. 27 Ingersoll separated from the original property, converted to single family. Thank you for your consideration and hopefully wise decision to continue the demolition delay. This time will allow the owner to better understand that the demolition of this single family home is a loss of housing. The cost of demolition rather than restoration is less than the demolition and construction of a new comparable single family house. And I'm sure they know that from their other projects. Sincerely, thank you.
I think you would, depending at the first letter, get ready for the. It's the one,
56.
December 10th.
Yeah, this is the first one, December 10th, also came to review. 52 Bay Street is the near property of 56 Bay Street. Property is listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 9/26 of 86. First owner was named McCarthy Group. Correct building date is 1870. This is the time the McKnights were starting to build in the area, and this Italianate house is of the style they were building on Thompson Street and the area. The building that is being proposed for demolition was built as a barn or carriage house. The Hobbs family owned the property in 1899, and between then and 1810 converted the building to a single family residence in the Queen Anne style and owned it in 1910. At the time, 56 Bay was a single family home. City records show that the property legally has 2 residences on it. Tax code 109, which says multiple homes on one parcel. I'm pleased to see that Wayfinders is planning on restoring the main house at 56. It's still very original and all the architectural details are still there, we hope. They will be restored, not remodeled, sided, and degraded. As Wayfinders is dedicated to providing housing, it does not make sense to demolish a 2-bedroom, single-family house that can be restored. This added home would be of great value to any buyers. They would have income to help support them and maintain both homes. This is how generational wealth can be built. Eliminating this is counterproductive. The real estate property valuation report you received assumes the existence of the standalone building. It's 959 square foot, 2-bedroom residence. Though it needed significant restoration, is seen as an asset. Next, this property is listed in the National Register of Historic Places, and Wayfinders received significant funding from the federal government. No demolition should be allowed now or in the future. Mass Historic Commission must be involved in such proposals. Here we have one more. From the trust. Springfield Preservation Trust is opposed to the demolition of the building we know is 52 Bay in the rear of the Italianate house at 56 Bay. This building was built in circa 1870 as a barn, made into a single family home in 1900. It was rebuilt on the Queen Anne style. Home was located in the McKnight National Register District, established in 1986. It contributes to the style of the neighborhood and the historic nature of adaptive reuse. It is also an asset to the property as it can add value as a rental and provide much needed housing. The demolition delay ordinance exists to prevent wanton demolition of historic older buildings. The 9-month delay should not be listed by the Historic Commission, whose purpose and responsibility is the preservation, protection, and promotion of Springfield's historic assets. Billy, Fergus Hall, President. Any more? Okay.
I address some of those
Sure.
concerns. So you mentioned that we're proposing to demolish housing and that, you know, we should be creating housing, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. Rehabbing a property in this condition can be more expensive than creating a new construction housing. So also having 3 units and 2 homes on the same lot is complicated for marketing the property. Our aim with this program is to encourage homeownership for new home buyers. So having a 3-unit property with a separate building is not going to be very attainable for most moderate income home buyers. And if we're talking about spending more money to rehab a property, a house that's in such bad condition, then we are not using those resources to elsewhere in the neighborhood. So there's a lot of other vacant homes in the neighborhood. There's a lot of other vacant properties that we're using scarce resources to help stabilize and improve the neighborhood. So it's like I would say, yes, with enough money you can do anything. You could restore it to its former glory, but then we're neglecting all of the other properties in the neighborhood that we could be doing something about. So
sure,
that's my basic response.
Okay. I'll just say this personally before I get to the motion. I do houses like that. Like we bought 60 Byers Street from the city, which is as bad as that house. Had a fire, it's actually worse than that house. Most of the houses we've done in the city, the 3 on Mill Street would be 500 square feet. 175 had a rear house that was 2,200 square feet. It looked just like that. It looked just like that, and it doesn't look like that now. So it can be done. There are people with expertise that could look at that the numbers could make sense for housing. I know you guys kind of have your own piece of it. But I'll just tell you, when a house is that small, there's 2 on one parcel like that, and you do have a lot of land, there are possibilities. So I would just encourage you guys to keep looking at that. I know you're here to demo that tonight. But I'll tell you from personal experience that houses like that, especially small houses like that, can make sense. They can make sense financially. Again, it depends on the developer, the skill set, what it needs. You probably have to do some more homework on it. If you haven't had somebody look at it, if you have kind of structural engineer or a GC, at least we'll walk through. It might be worth doing. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. So I'll bring it back to the commissioners and look for a motion on the waiver of the demo delay.
May I say?
Please.
I live across the street from that was rehab, and that house was empty for about 7-8 years.
Almost 10.
Fire, almost 10 years of fire, roof damage, rain, snow, years of it. It's a beautiful place now. Inside is amazing, and it was preserved. So it can be done. It can be done.
So you haven't had any engineers use foundation or any of that stuff done? Yeah.
No.
I mean, I can see why you might
I think it was sort of a visual.
Right, well, and it is serious, but 10 years of of water damage, I know the inside of that house.
Yeah.
Was just as bad as that.
So this is the kind of thing that we see, or like you're like you look at, you almost like go, wow. That was this?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's what it could look like? That's what it used to look like?
Yep.
So. And the fact that the lot is that big, you might have enough for. Access for both, there's parking for both. Which might give you, which might get you two. And with the way things are today, when people go get a mortgage, sometimes they can't afford the house by itself in the front. If they did have a rental, banks would be more friendly on things like that. So I would say if you haven't had somebody walk through it or run a number for you, you might want to think about it.
I would suggest I'm in favor of that too, because it is a very unique property. And without any engineering to help make a decision, something we haven't seen, we haven't gone through it. And I hate to, I mean, the worst case scenario, you can wait 9 months. And
yeah, you win it once, you get done in 9 months, so it's there.
That's what our issue is. So I mean, we probably have, but I would like to get it solar, mass, and anything else that you would. Just to see if there's anything. If you exhaust those things in where to come back, then I don't think I'd have an issue if I were looking at that type of information, but right now, looking at that, and in this, we've been in a lot of bad houses, so the pictures certainly indicate I have an issue. It doesn't rise, by the information I have, it doesn't rise to me voting to lift this.
Yeah, the delay,
Please.
The delay just allows you that time to get an engineer in there to look at your options, exhaust all your options, and then you, like Walter said, or Chairman, he said that you can then come back and still demo it maybe, but it's not, it just gives you that time and flexibility.
And I want to assure you that our thoughts are not that you aren't bringing the best intentions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we have seen remarkable things done, and that would give a 3-bedroom option, of 2 houses that would be saved, and from the historic district and for people to live beyond the single house. So it's an opportunity for you to take a little time to look and see what could be possible.
I think my own response to that, though, I guess the only urgency on our end is the neighborhood stabilization funds. If we are awarded them, we've already applied to mass housing for these funds. We have to close within 6 months on those funds, and we need to have all permits in hand to close on those. So we're potentially losing out on $400,000 in funds for the front property.
Unless they do
if we're not.
Unless they more funding in 9 months. Or different funding.
We would have to reapply.
Or you get mass historic approved for both properties.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's nothing that keeps you from coming back again and asking in 5 months. Never after you looked at it, well, thinking about the property, if you find that there's something that we should know, and we could consider it then, and you could come back forward.
Go ahead.
Yeah, has Matt, have you actually discussed this house with Mass Historic? Or just wasn't part of your application? You just applied that it would be.
We submitted a PNF explaining our intent, and we haven't heard back from them. So no, we have not actually discussed it with anybody yet.
Well, I could argue either side easily with 10 minutes, but we said on this side, argument has to stand for its presentation of the piece of property.
We want to make a motion on the application, please?
You're doing checking.
I think by one of you folks.
I move we deny the application.
which is to lift the, so yes, it's a.
Okay, do we have a second? The application is to deny the demo delay.
Yes.
That's the motion, I'm sorry, that's the motion.
Affirmative vote is to deny.
Could I just ask a question? If, is there a possibility, or if we were to do an engineer, it sounds like you're looking for an engineering study or, I guess, are you looking for costs to renovate or what would?
That never hurts us, but a lot of times, a couple of times we put a demo, we really let the demo delay because the foundation was destroyed. Or when the foundation was falling in, which just multiplies. But if you have a solid foundation, then that's a whole different story. Or some structural that's so dramatic that
Time wouldn't fix it, wouldn't matter.
it's gonna take you,
Yeah.
4 times the money to fix that up.
I asked the question, wondering the structural integrity. It's clear that there's a lot of damage. And if you had said yes, and there's structural, like, there's no integrity left to it, that's a very different conversation than we haven't really looked into it.
Okay, so if we have new information.
Yeah.
We
You
can
might
apply
find out
or
that you
or
can
could
restore
we, or could we continue this and come back? Our information like next month.
Do that, I mean, it's any other application, right? Is there, what's the policy on demo delay applications?
30 days, so I guess you would need to request an extension. And,
GLD right now.
and so that would give you till February or July 31st would be, so I would give you one here. 30 days,
January.
yeah, sorry, January. My
Optimism.
J's, you know. He's too many J, but.
He's already thinking something.
We do February.
So I guess, a 60-day extension would give you two meetings or 3 more meetings, so I'll give you January 15th, February 5th, and February 19th.
February 19th.
So that will be a 60-day extension.
Okay. You said, you was it 3 days?
Yeah, they were January 15th, which is our next scheduled meeting, and then it would be February 5th and February 19th.
Could we do February 5th? It's just with the holidays.
Want to make a motion to extend that
I
application?
withdraw my motion.
Thank you.
I make a motion for a second day, the 60-day extension.
Second. Okay, all those in favor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I didn't get those.
Commissioners, can I speak on that order? This is Attorney Shea.
Go ahead, Attorney Shea.
Yeah, I believe the commission has the authority to delay demolition for up to 12 months. In Chapter 40C, General Laws, I think you can give a 12-month extension. Up to 12 months. You can't go beyond that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's doable online.
Yeah, they're on, if you were to go to our webpage and look at the agenda, you'll see them.
Okay, so next one is section 106 review, the railroad track.
We'll be moving back to 79,000.
Yeah, we need to do that. So
I don't have it.
Hopefully next year the deal is gonna be done with 79.
Yeah. Are we going to 79,000 or any?
Let's go to 79 Thompson, get rid of that one. Anyone here for 79 Thompson? Going once, going twice. Okay, so let's,
But that one is no longer available.
we have to vote on, so, well, it's gonna expire, so we have to vote.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to vote on that, but it will probably be, it'll probably be.
But he never, this was the sole one that he was gonna come back and talk to us, go around where he's gonna find us and didn't come back, so. Second, who's the second?
Oh, that's true.
Judy, thank you. Okay,
Sir, what was the motion? I'm sorry. I missed.
two accept. Yeah, we gotta talk about it to vote on it, so. Okay, so a yes vote would be to accept what he had without answering questions, and a no vote would make him come back and reapply and have to answer the questions that were not answered on this. Is everyone clear on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take the vote. Commissioner Walsh? No. Commissioner Nesport?
No.
Commissioner Coffey?
No.
I don't know as well. Commissioner Kroll? No. Commissioner Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay, this will pass. Okay. Now we can go to section 106 review. Right.
Yes, that will be John, who is on the complete bridge.
Been all that time, huh?
Yep. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, you have the floor.
All right. And I also have, I think, dialed in here is Scott Conti, who is the MassDOT project manager for this. Again, my name is John Weston, and I'm with MassDOT Rail and Transit. Thought that I guess most helpful for you all is if I go over the project in total, and then a little detail on the impacts of historic considerations. Is that probably the best way to proceed?
Sure, sure.
All right. I do have like a 9 or 10 slide presentation. If I can share, is that okay to share my screen?
Yeah. If you have that ability, you can take it. I'm trying to look for it right now.
It says make,
Should be at the bottom, right? Yeah, make host.
make host.
So maybe I don't really know. He's got it.
He's got it because he started.
Is that showing?
I see it, yeah.
All right, great. So just the big picture, right? MassDOT is pursuing what we call the Compass Rail program. That is for intercity passenger rail, increasing the service across the Commonwealth. Boston, Springfield, Albany, and then continuing the services that we have that come down through Vermont, down through Greenfield, Northampton, in Springfield onto New Haven in New York. What that does is it puts Springfield right in the middle of our compass, and specifically the Springfield Union Station. So one of the things that we focused in on is making sure that the tracks and the station itself is capable of accommodating all the increased train service that we're looking to grow. Here's a schematic of that, of those improvements. What you're looking at here is everything so this is the existing station area, with the different platforms, which are labeled A, B, C, and D. We will be expanding 3 of those station platforms, and then looking to build another one, and then a lot of work on the tracks themselves to make sure that they can accommodate all the different movements that we need to have them, the trains make, and then the restoration of a rail yard over on Armory Street. So to put this in sort of real world perspective, here's a map of the project area. As you can see, it's right along the CSX main line. It's the station area itself where the platforms are, and then there would be some track work that's done up and down a little bit up and down the tracks that run along the river. So right, we had I think available to you all to download like a pretty detailed review, a survey that was done of the historic and archaeological environment, the area of potential effect, which was basically this, what I have up here on the screen with another 150-foot buffer to identify all the archaeological and historic assets in the area. Right, this project is subject to the program comment for exemption for rail properties. So out of all of that area, like all the improvements that are being made to the station itself, right, aren't under Section 106 review. And so what this report focuses on are all the areas that are outside of a historic rail corridor, which does limit it down or reduce it down from this big area down to a couple of locations. There are, and I'll just go through those fairly quickly, right? We have a couple of areas where we would look to build retaining walls because of the change in tracks. This is one area right to the east of Chestnut Street. These are vacant parcels right now, and we would need to build some retaining walls along those to retain the tracks. And then there's an area just east of Armory Street. It's an existing, it's a right of way. It's a former railroad right of way. But we may be looking to extend the tracks along there. They need to be flat. And in order to do that, we would need to build retaining walls along there, and those retaining walls would fall outside of the area that was formerly railroad, slightly, but it is still formerly outside of the railroad. And then I'll stay over on Armory Street. We are looking to restore the rail yard that was on the corner of Taylor and Armory Street. There's this building, as you can see in the picture here, that would need to be raised. And then I'm going back to Chestnut Street, right, where I talked about building the retaining walls on these parcels. We also would need to either rebuild this bridge here over Chestnut Street or build a parallel bridge, like right up next to it. Right, that's sort of a final design item there, but certainly, right, sort of need to understand. We need to consider whether that's an impact on this bridge. And then the last item is this old tower building. As it's underneath I-91. You can see from the picture, right? It's underneath the highway right now. It hasn't been used in a long time. It's obsolete. Amtrak has been looking actually to to demolish this. I think both CSX and Amtrak have been looking to demolish this. They did get approval. There's a letter from Mass Historic back in 2011 where they identified that it no longer retains a sufficient integrity of location, design, setting, feeling to meet criteria for listing, and they recommended finding that the demolition would not there would be no historic properties affected. So they it has they didn't have the money to take it down at that point. Right, we will be doing track work underneath this, moving some of the tracks and putting some signals and all in this area underneath an I-91 and need that space. So that ends my quick overview of the project, and happy to answer questions or what have you. So
Can you go back up to the schematic, John?
Yep.
Now, the red dots are new railroad tracks?
These are new railroad or reconfigured railroad tracks. So most of these were in place at one time, or pretty close to the existing where we want to put them, but not exactly. So
Just going by the legend, because the legend at the bottom says new railroad.
yeah, most of them are revised. Like these little, I don't know if can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Yeah, so like these little, we call them crossovers between one track and the other. Some of those were there, some of those weren't there. Like this line right here, or especially these up here, that they're, at least in modern times, there weren't tracks here. I'm gonna guess if I go back and look at some old track charts and old maps, there were probably tracks up in that area as well. So yeah.
Will CSX be running on those new or revised tracks?
CSX, the change in operation to CSX will be fairly minimal. CSX runs on these two these two tracks that are colored black that just go straight back and forth between West Springfield and towards Boston. They won't change their operation. Part of this whole thing is to be able to separate the passenger service from the freight service, so that we can have trains come up from Hartford and stay out of the way of the freight trains and stay either south or north of these, and so that they don't have to cross each other, because each time they cross it causes delay to everyone, and that's what we want to avoid.
That's why I was asking, because sometimes when I used to commute from Worcester to Boston, we had to wait for a CSX by.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Like, absolutely, that does happen, and a big driving purpose behind this whole project is to try and separate the passenger from the freight activity.
John, can you please go back to the slide, the McKnight slide off Gaston Valley, off Albany Ave?
Yeah, I don't. You tell me which one. This one?
No,
yep.
Yeah, I see Bowman Street and Ingersoll. So
yeah.
So the track that's there, so Armory Street's at the bottom, kind of running toward 10 o'clock.
Yep, here's Armory Street. Yep.
Tracks is Albany Ave. Is that right? So we're right.
Albany. Yep. Here's Albany. Yes.
So what's the proposal on the tracks that you have highlighted? Is that going to be a retaining wall?
So yeah, this yellow that's around the tracks would be a retaining wall. It's not all that noticeable, but when you go out there and survey that, line, there is a grade to it. I think it's a grade up. Yeah. And so we would need to excavate down to build a retaining wall to be able to build that track and keep it flat.
What's the height?
Probably, I think it's 20 feet. Am I right, Scott? Around that. When you get down to the end. You're on mute, but I think, yeah, by the time you get down to the end, I think we're at about 20 feet. 20 feet down.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
What's gonna be above? Like, what are you gonna see essentially? What are you gonna see if I'm on Albany Avenue? Look, what am I gonna see?
Probably nothing, right? Because because the trains are going to be 20 feet. The trains are going to be 20 feet below the grade. So you would, if you could actually peer through there, which you probably could, you might see the top of a train.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I don't think we have any other questions in-house.
All right. So, right, we've, as you probably know, right, been through this before, right? We've submitted this to Mass Historic. We've submitted it to the tribes. We did get one. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this. One of the things that we are going to do is we have committed to doing a boring program when we do when we move to the next phase of design. We want to make sure that there's no archaeological resources right underground. So we will be doing a survey in a boring program when we get to that point at these locations. So we want to make sure that we don't know how far deep the undisturbed soils are, and probably more of an issue as we get closer to the river, but we will be doing that to make sure that we don't have any archaeological impacts. And that was one of the things, the reason why I thought about it, that was one of the things that the tribes right were certainly concerned about. So we anyways, we submitted this to Mass Historic. We'll get their comments, the tribes' comments, and if you have any as well. So
Thank you.
all right, great, thanks, appreciate it.
So I would entertain a motion on the section 106 review from someone, please.
To find that the proposed project as presented in submitted materials and during the evening's meeting will not be detrimental to the building and the project with no adverse.
And we have buildings, area surrounding your house. It's usually one building. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, do we have a second? Any other discussion or questions from anyone else on the board? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, John. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Other matters properly before the commission, administrative updates?
I can leave it to the packet and take over them. So everything's in there.
Okay, thank you.
And then the hearing overview.
So have any correspondence to the commission?
No, we January 15th. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's basically just some non-applicabilities, some support letter updates, but nothing significance.
Okay, and the forum call for January 15th, I know a few people were. This one, so I know you're out, right? That should be good. I don't know, yay.
But for me as well, we'll be here.
I got it. Do you anticipate being available on the 15th?
I'll be here for you.
I know. Very emphatic. I'll say it then.
He's just getting the
I'll say it
letter.
then.
Anything else? Very hard.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, public speak up. I threw it up there.
Not that woman that was there.
I will, Attorney Shea, anything?
Yes, sir.
Good,
Yeah, I'm good.
thank you. Okay, entertain a motion.
Have a nice holiday, everybody.
You too.
You too, Ken.
Okay, all those in favor?